Alright guys, I apologize. It's been more than a week since I put together an episode. Last week was just too busy for me to go through all the footage that I shot and put something together. What that means though is now I've got like 9 days worth of footage to use and no idea what to do with any of it. So I figure I'll put together a recap of the week and show you guys where I started and where I'm at now. The week began with me cutting apart my original fuel tank and ended with chopping up the stock window frame and fitting it to the cab. So a lot of stuff happened and I'm pretty pumped about it. Check it out. Alright, episode 5, and on this one it's the point of no return. I'm going to cut up my stock gas tank, fit it back onto the cab, and hope I don't regret it. Here goes nothing. So here's the inside, and it's actually in remarkably good shape. I feel pretty bad about chopping it apart because I'm sure there's some Model A enthusiast out there that would kill for one in this good a shape. There's no rust anywhere in here. And the fuel float that I was talking about is actually here, and I can't really tell what it's made out of, but it looks like it might actually be old cork or something. It's super degraded. I don't know how well you can see that on there, but pretty cool to see the inside of it overall. Too bad I had to go chopping it up, but this right here is what I really needed, and that's what's going to go back in the truck. So in it goes. Alright, so why did I cut out the bottom of the fuel tank? Well, as talked about before, I want to put all of the truck's electronics and kind of accessories that I don't want to be visible up inside the dash. The fuel tank for the truck originally was right there above your knees. When you're driving around, I mean, this thing was not safe back in 1931 whatsoever. Needless to say, I don't want to use it as a fuel tank now, and it takes up a lot of room. So decided to cut the whole bottom of it out so I could hide everything up inside or behind it. Simple as that. Nothing really to it. The next project for the week was mounting the truck's computer systems under the dash. With the fuel cell cut out of the way, it was time to make some hard mounts and get everything finally fixed into position. Alright, so a quick little update. I finished making a pair of brackets to hold the PCM for the Ford engine. The way that they decided to mount it from the factory is honestly pretty stupid if you ask me. So I had to come up with something kind of weird. I'm hoping this is going to work. We're going to find out shortly once I put some holes in them and tack them into place. Next on the list was tackling the lower radiator mount. Fitting everything into place took a bit of trial and error, but the end result has the radiator sitting right where I want it to. I've had a few people ask if I'm worried about adequate airflow to the back of the cab, but I've got some ideas in store, so don't worry too much. I'm pretty sure everything is going to work out. For the curious, the unit itself is one of the largest that Griffin Radiators makes. It's a dual-pass unit with a massive core and a pair of 12-inch spout fans mounted to the back, and I think it's pretty safe to assume that this thing will keep the Coyote motor plenty cool. In the mix with mounting the radiator itself was adding 2 more tubes to the chassis, which you can see mounting just below the radiator itself. A further explanation for these will come in a later episode, but know for now that these are going to play an important role in mounting the rest of the suspension later on down the road. Alright, so next on the list of things that I accomplished last week was mounting the Driveshaft. I placed the order for it on Thursday, and surprisingly, Friday morning it was ready and at my shop waiting to be installed. So I had to make the daring decision to cut a hole in the back of the cab for it to pass through, and decided to go on and put it in place. And then of course I decided I wanted to tackle some of the steering system too. I have some of the parts to finish the job, but certainly not all of them, and a huge part of that is all of the front suspension components. I haven't even gotten that far yet. But I wanted to get the steering column started, the bearings mounted, and a hole put in the firewall, which was a scary decision to do. But it had to get done, so I pulled out the drill and put a hole in the firewall. So at the moment, I'm working on a steering column mount. I know it's kind of hard to imagine how this is going to be that, but essentially there's going to be a Heim joint that's not sitting here. It's going to pass down through this, hold the steering column, and keep the steering wheel from moving around, make everything turn. It's an essential part. And so it's a 95 wall brace. I'm going to throw some dimple dies in it, make it look better, and then go on and weld it in. I've been hard at work trying to get the steering column done, and I'm hoping I'll kind of finish at least half of the steering system up today or this weekend. Alright, so last night I finished up the steering column mount, and I was pretty happy with it because it looks pretty good. But in the middle of the night last night at like 2:30 a.m., Miller texts me and he says, "Hey, we forgot to check and make sure that the master cylinders clear it." And he was right. None of it clears. It was a day of wasted effort. We got to cut it out, come up with a different solution that's lower profile, that works better, and that sucks. But I figure it's not worth hiding. I might as well share that. It's funny, and builds like this are always about successes and failures, so I'll give you guys one last good look at it before we chop it up. So following that, I spent all day on Saturday building a different steering column mount. I went through a few different iterations of different designs and was really unhappy with all of them, and at the end of the day, after finishing my last iteration of a steering column mount and honestly getting everything into place and finished, I stood back and looked at it and realized I was pretty unhappy with it. Sadly, I called up my buddy Riley and decided to see what he thought about everything, and he said, "Why not just run the mount that you made first upside down and backwards?" And of course, that worked, and turns out I wasted all day on Saturday. But it meant that my steering column mount was once again finished, and I was actually happy with it. The final things on the list for the week are the fact that I actually went in and finished up riveting the firewall. I got the last couple of pieces in place and decided to go on and put the entire thing together. There's still a couple small things to finish up, but it's pretty close to done, and I'm ready to start on the trans tunnel and to cover the drive shaft. The last thing on the list is I spent my day yesterday, on Sunday, cutting up the factory windshield frame, shortening it to match the chopped top, and I got it into place, and it's actually looking pretty good. It should still function as a swing out just as it did originally, and I'm pretty happy with it. And that concludes a week's worth of work on the truck. I think I'm going to call that a finished episode and head back out to the shop and start number 6. See you guys next time.